Have you ever wondered why your dreams haven't come true? Welcome to Tools to Manifest Your Dream Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. If you are listening to this via a podcast, please know this is a brand new podcast. So if you've been following me a while, maybe you've listened to my other show called Tools to Create a Better Life, you'll want to make sure to add this podcast to your podcast app. If you're watching the video, thank you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful you're all here. As always, just so incredibly grateful. So, are you wondering why the heck your dreams haven't come true yet? Yes, so there's so many reasons, really. I could probably do 100 shows about this. And one of them could very well be one of the myths that I talked about in my previous show called 4 Hard Truths About Manifestation. We will link that in the show notes below. So please listen to that show. That really is, to me, the starting point for all of this. So this one isn't going to go into those. I am actually going to talk about one thing in particular. And it's one thing that most people don't even consider when they are manifesting their dream life or manifesting maybe a specific amount of money or a relationship or whatever it may be. Doesn't matter what it is. You want to consider this. And so I'll start a little bit with some information before I talk about that question that we want to look at, and then I'll take you through a little bit of an exercise with it. So the first thing is to look at what it is you would like. And so what I'd like you to do right now is just walk along through this with me. Just think of something specific maybe that you would like to be manifesting. Maybe, again, a certain amount of money. Maybe you've got some energies of what you would like in your life. Just whatever it is. I just want you to bring that to mind. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you a question. And what I'm going to ask you to do is pay attention to your awareness with the response to that question. Now, what the heck does that mean? Your awareness is basically an energy. When I ask you this question, you will probably get big, expansive, yummy energy, like you're just like, wow, yum. Or you might get a really heavy, icky, blah energy. Either are okay. Now, you might also get something different too. And it's usually kind of the expansive or the contractive, the light or the heavy, the bright or the dark. There's lots of ways it can show up. Sometimes when I ask these questions, it's not so much a feeling or an energy, you just know. You just have the knowing in the moment that I ask the question. So if you're new to reading your own awareness, this might be a bit of a practice for you, and that's great. That is great. You want to practice. Okay, so now, let's go back to the energy of what you're asking for. I'm going to do it too, so I'm just going to take a moment. Okay, what I would like, yeah, okay, I've got it. And what I do in that moment is I kind of close my eyes. I really get the energy of it, like I'm doing it, I'm living it, I'm being it, all of that, just really in the spaciousness of that. And then the question I'm going to ask you, so I'll give you a moment, get in the energy of what you're asking for. Truth. Are you willing to receive it? Right? I know this is something most people don't ask. They dream big. They have all these ideas, all these things. Maybe they're on social media and they see people having all sorts of amazing experiences and things and houses and all of that. And they go after them, but they don't actually check in. Are you willing to receive it? Slower. Yeah. Now, here is the super cool thing. If you got no, you are not. You don't have to go, well, I guess I can't have it then. I guess that's it. No, we can actually change that. But first, we have to acknowledge if we're not willing to receive it, because no matter what, if you aren't willing to receive it, you will not manifest it. So this is one of the 4 questions that I ask about people once they've kind of got the energy of what they would like and all of that, then I take them through these 4 questions. But this one is the one that the show is about today, because I really want you to start looking at this, because it's probably the biggest tripping point for people and they don't even recognize. Now, how do we change it? If we're not willing to receive it, I happen to, when I got the energy of mind and asked that question. I happen to get a yes in this case. A lot of times I don't. A lot of times it's a no. But in this case, I happen to get a yes. So that's exciting. So I don't need to do anything. I just get to be excited and take whatever action is required to have it occur, have it happen. Now, if not, if you got a no, then what you want to look at is how can you change that? What's required? So for most people, it's probably a mindset shift that's required, which means you want to start looking at it. So let's use the example of you were asking for an additional $1,000 this month. Okay, so you got that you're not willing to receive that. Okay, so then the question becomes, what is that? So just get super curious, like, what is that? What is it that you're not willing to receive an additional $1,000 a month? Well, maybe growing up you heard money, if you wanted money, it was greedy. Maybe you've decided it's impossible, like an additional $1,000, that's impossible. There could be, a memory come up from earlier maybe even in childhood where $1,000 was made to seem like too much money. There's so many possibilities with it. You just want to get really present with it and curious with no judgment. So that if you do have the idea that, say, the memory comes up when you were telling a friend about receiving some money. Let's say a couple of years ago, somebody paid you, double what they owed you because they were so grateful for what you did. So they gave you $1,000 instead of $500. And maybe your friend that you were telling was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you accepted that. You shouldn't have, or something like that. Now, here's the thing, guys. We're so freaking aware that we don't even have to have that person say those words. If they thought it, we probably received it energetically. So you want to be aware of that too. But this is what you want to be, present with and look at that and be like, wow, okay, I probably shut off my receiving of that $1,000 because of, whatever the situation was. Now comes some maybe woo-woo energy stuff that I like to do where I would, in that case, so using that example, I would imagine myself in that energy again. I would be in that space with telling that friend, I would bring up the energy, and then I would just energetically melt it. Like, it's hard to put to words how I do that, but you could imagine, if you're visual, you could imagine maybe taking fire and burning up all of those heavy energies about it. You could take a water hose and wash away the energies. You could get really creative, but basically you just want to get rid of that stuff in that moment that came up. Now, you might not have a specific memory or thought or anything. You might be like, I have no clue. I'm just not willing to receive it. So then what you could do, this is one of my favorite tools that I use all the time for all sorts of things, is I pull the sun from the sky, obviously energetically. I pull the sun from the sky and I pull it down into the situation. So in this case, if I just got no, I'm not willing to receive it, but I have no idea why not or what's occurred or anything. I just pull that sun energetically down into me, into the situation, into receiving that whatever my ask is, all the way down into the ground. And I just hold it there basically until it just shifts the energy of it. And then you just check back in. So truth, am I willing to receive, in this case, an additional $1,000 this month? If it's still a no, there might be some more curiosity with it. Sometimes you need to walk away for a while. Sometimes you need to go do something else, get your mind out of it, stop thinking about it, go distract yourself, go on TikTok or watch Netflix or go for a walk or something. And then come back maybe tomorrow and look at it again. Sometimes we just need the time to shift it. Sometimes we need the space for it to shift. There's so many things with it. You just want to be aware of it, present with it, get curious about it, and don't push or force it to change. You will change it. That I can guarantee. How or when, that's different. That's just going to take possibly time. You might do it right away. You might do it by the time this program ends, whether you're watching it as a show or you're listening as a podcast. It might be gone. How cool would that be that it's just gone? Yeah, right? And we can be that magical. Now, like I said, for the majority of it, when we get a no, we're not willing to receive it, it's probably a mindset thing that's going on. But if you don't know, maybe there's no mindset, there's no nothing, kind of like what I talked about, you just know you're not willing to receive it, use the sun tool and shift it that way, even if you have no clue if it's mindset, if there was a situation, if it was just an energy thing. I mean, the way that I see things doesn't mean you have to see them this way, but the way that I see things is that there are many, many lifetimes that we have lived. And a lot of times, many of our limitations are from other lifetimes. So then it can get pretty wonky because we don't actually have the memory of something going on in that lifetime or a different lifetime that would cause us to not receive this lifetime. So rather than having to spend a lot of time trying to figure it out and make sense of it, and oh gosh, that's exhausting. And people can actually get really distracted and really mind fuck themselves with all of that. So just bring the sunshine in. Just bring the sunshine in. And the other thing with the tool of the sunshine, you might pull it in and it might just poof, pop right back out again. Okay, so what you want to do is get even more present with it, pull it in and hold it there. Hold it there until it stays there. So have fun with it, guys. I would love to hear if you use this, if you shift anything, how you shift it, what's changing for you. I always love feedback. So you can, however you're listening to this, if you're listening by podcast, you can find me on all the socials and send me a message that way. If you are watching the video, then you can post below wherever that is to really let me know what's happening and how it's working for you and how you are manifesting your dream life. I would love to hear. I would also love to invite you to the Manifesting membership. We are at almost 60 members, guys. I'm so excited at this time of recording. And I would love to have you come and play. If you're not in there already, it's so much fun. The information will be above or below. And if you can't find the information, just reach out. I would love to get it for you. It is a whole $29 US a month or 39 Canadian. You can choose whichever currency you prefer. And have a great week. I look forward to chatting again soon.